Hello, and welcome to the 2013-2014 Midwest Conference Women's Basketball Preseason Preview. I'm Corey Weibel, the Director of Media and Information at the Midwest Conference, and this season we are going to take you on a video preview of the 2013-2014 Women's Basketball season. During the preview, we will sit down and talk to each of the 11 coaches and ask them about their expectations and outlooks for the upcoming season. Let's get right into it and dive into the preview. Competing in the Midwest Conference for the first time since the 1997 season, the Cornell College Rams took home the 2012-13 Women's Basketball Championship and followed that up with a trip to the NCAA tournament by winning the MWC tournament. The Rams have high expectations this season, and they hope for an opportunity to repeat, as they were picked to repeat as MWC champions in the 2013-14 Women's Basketball Preseason Coaches Poll. Cornell earned a maximum of 100 points and earned all 10 first-place votes to be the overwhelming favorite this season. 2011-12 MWC Tournament champion Monmouth earned the other first-place vote and was picked to finish second with 87 points, followed by closely St. Norbert, who won 3 of the last 4 regular season championships. Harrold is projected to be the final team in the 14 conference field with 72 points, just beating out Lake Forest in 5th place with 69 points. Ripon finished with 45 points in a 6th place finish, while Illinois College and Beloit were separated by just 1 vote, with the Lady Blues gaining 39 total votes and a 7th place projected finish. Knox and Grinnell were tied for 9th place with 31 points apiece, while Lawrence rounded out the 11-team field with 11 total points. Only 7 MWC All-Conference players returned this season, led by a pair of 2012-13 All-MWC First Team Award winners in Cornell forward Ricky Malloy and Beloit guard Lauren McNana. Almost the entire second team is back, which includes Ripon guard Jill Van Eperen, Monmouth forward Marla Willard, Cornell center Taylor Dykus, and St. Norbert forward Tasha Geis. The conference also welcomes new coaches to 4 programs this season. Dana Harrold takes over the Grinnell program after serving as an assistant at the University of Dubuque since 2006. Laura Westling is in her first season with Illinois College after assisting at Truman State University last year. Ashley Wellman comes to Lawrence from Alma College, where she was an assistant since 2008, while Ripon welcomes Lauren Johnson to the Red Hawks staff after serving as an assistant in Coe College during the 2011-2012 season. Now let's take it into the team-by-team preview, first starting with the Beloit Buccaneers. First team in the preview is the Beloit Buccaneers, coached by Jen McCormick. Last season, the Bucs finished 4-19 overall and 3-15 in the league, which was good for 10th place. Beloit brings back a young team, as either 8 players were freshmen or sophomores last season, and they only lost 1 player due to graduation. Last season, the Bucs finished 5th in the league in scoring, averaging 66 points per game, and were the second best free throw shooting team at over 74%. Lauren McNana led the league in scoring with 16.5 points per game and was second in three-point shooting, knocking down nearly 39% of her three-point opportunities. Laura Wiseman was 4th in the league in scoring at almost 15 points per game as a freshman and should contribute this year. Now we'd like to turn it over to head coach Jen McCormick as she talks about her Bucs program. Jen, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. 4-19 last year, 3-15 in the league, a little bit of a tough year, but it was a young team. So talk about this year coming up.
Yeah, we're really excited. We only graduated 1 senior, so we've got a lot returning and several key players coming back for us. We had a lot of injuries last year, so that was something that hurt us overall. I mean, we didn't have a single game where our entire roster was dressed last year, so hopefully we can stay healthy and that'll make a big difference. Expectations for this season, we're expecting a lot from our returners, especially our seniors with the leadership this year. We're hoping they take it in the direction that we want our program to go. We're expecting great things from our freshmen coming in too. We've got a good class coming in as well. So as a whole, we're just looking for improvement and then going toward the goals that we set when we get together as a team. So.
So with now a younger team, are you going to rely more on the players now, where they were younger last year, really relying on that experience to help lead you guys this year?
Yeah, we had, because of the young group that we had last year, and also because of our injuries, we had a lot of experience. Our freshmen got a lot of experience last year. We had 2 that we ended up starting as freshmen. So, I mean, I think it definitely will rely on that a lot, and I think that experience is going to help us carry it to the next step.
Now you're bringing back the league's leading scorer in Morgan McNana. Obviously, she's going to be a big piece this year. Who else, along with her, are we going to be looking for from Beloit?
Honestly, everyone. I mean, we're a small team still. I mean, we've got 14 on our roster coming in. We're looking for great things from our, like I said, our seniors. We've got 3 seniors: Lauren McNana, Jenna Larson, Leah Kruckman. So all 3 of them, as far as just with the leadership and stepping up their roles even more. Lana Wiesman coming back too is one of our key, 4th in the conference in scoring too. So she's going to be a key player for us significantly. And like I said, that sophomore class is now having that experience from last year, and then our incoming freshmen seeing what they have as well. So.
All right, Jen. Well, good luck this year, and hopefully see you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jen, for coming on and participating in the preseason preview. Now we're on to Harrold University as the Pioneers earned a trip to the MWC tournament for the 3rd straight season with a 12-6 conference mark and a 13-9 overall mark under head coach Kris Jacobsen. Last year, the Pioneers finished 2nd in the league in turnover margin, while they'll also look to Emily Denoyer, who averaged 11.7 points per game in over 31 minutes of action, to lead the team. Mallory Christensen averaged 9.9 points per game and 4.7 rebounds per game and shot 51% from the field as another key part to the Pioneers lineup they will look for this season. With that, let's head over to Harrold University and talk to head coach Kris Jacobsen.
Kris Jacobsen, head women's basketball coach of the Harrold University Lady Pioneers. It's your 17th season you're coming into now, and you finished 13-9 and 12-6. Good for 4th in the league last year. How did you feel the season went last year, and how does it set your expectations for this coming year?
Well, we had 6 seniors, so we had a lot of high expectations for the season. The leadership. We took a big blow when we lost our leading post. In fact, she was averaging a double-double almost every game, Brianne Mariansky. But so she's coming back after season-ending ACL, and she'll be a sophomore again. So I think at that point, the fact that we got into the tournament and we did what we did, I think said a lot about us as a team. And we set our goals every year just to get better every game and get ourselves into the tournament to possibly get set up to win a championship and go to postseason play. Cornell was kind of a big surprise for everybody, so they had a really tough team, and unfortunately we had to go up against them at their place for the first game. But we did play them earlier and lost by 3, so I thought we really held our own. And I think we did, with the loss of Ski, get a lot of people some playing time that they wouldn't have. So in retrospect, it was tough, but now that you're moving into this year, I think there's a lot of good possibilities there.
So it sounds from your comments that you look like you have a lot of depth coming back because you had an opportunity for a lot of players to get some experience last year with some personnel issues.
Oh yeah, I think we have an experienced group coming back. We did lose 6 seniors though, so that's really hard to replace. Emily Denoyer is our only senior this year with a super strong junior class, but I think we're going to have a different look with the 10-second backcourt being a potential good pressing type of thing, and getting Ski back. I think there's a good outlook for the season this year. You
mentioned Denoyer. She averaged 11.7 points per game to lead your team in about 31 minutes of action each night. Individually, do you look at other contributors to step up again this year or to make their impact?
Yeah, I think Emily's been such a consistent, strong player, and she leads by example. She's one of those players that's really self-made, putting in the extra time, a great team player. She's going to be a great leader. And we've got that quality in several of the juniors. I think Corinne Engels has a good potential to really show some stuff at the point guard position. Big surprise last year out of Mallory Christensen, a freshman coming in and starting at the 2 position, and I thought she did some great things. She did some big games for us, but again showed a lot of consistency and size. And then Julia Peach, who was just a sophomore last year, stepped in. That role was ski. A little foul trouble here and there, but we're working on that. And I really like, just in seeing what we're doing right now in preseason with seeing some pickup games and such, it looks like we're in good shape and ready to go.
Well, that's great. And you mentioned the 10-second rule this year and how it might show a different look. Is there anything that folks in the Midwest Conference that follow women's basketball should be looking for differently out of Carroll University this year and looking ahead in your non-conference games to start the season?
Well, I think for the past couple of years we've been really small, especially what we put out on the court. And again, Mallory and Steve bring some size there, but and some freshmen. But I like the fact that if we can get out and use the whole court with a lot more pressing and not only just get the shot clock moved down, but to actually get some violations in the back. And again, like had some young players last year get some playing time. We might be small, but I think that we can get some depth in there, some quickness, and really take advantage of it.
Well, that's great. Thanks so much for your time and best of luck to the Pioneers this year.
Thank you.
Thanks to Coach Jacobsen for joining us on the preseason preview. And now we're on to the Cornell College Rams, head coached by Brent Brase. Brase took his team to the MWC championship and also earned the MWC tournament championship with a 17-1 conference mark and a 25-2 overall mark. The Rams were among the NCAA leaders in field goal percentage, rebound margin, and assists per game as they shot 46% from the field and out-rebounded teams by almost 13 rebounds per game. They also led the Midwest Conference in scoring margin at almost 19 points per game, free throw percentage, field goal percentage defense, and were second in the league at scoring defense, allowing opponents to only score 53 points per game. The team returns 3 starters last year, headlined by Ricky Malloy, who finished 9th in the league in scoring with just over 13 points per game. She was also first in free throw percentage at 90% and 4th in three-point percentage at 37% from behind the arc. Taylor Dykes will also be a key member of this Rams team as she finished 15th in the league in scoring, averaging just under 12 points per game, and she was also 4th in rebounding at just over 9 rebounds per game. Kelly Kuzmanek was 2nd in the league in assists per game at 4.3 per contest to dish out the ball to those high scorers down low. Without further ado, we'd like to send it over to Cornell College and head coach Brent Brase. First of all, Brent, thanks for coming on. Last year, obviously, you guys had a banner season, one of the best in Cornell history. When you sit back and think about it, does that really set the expectation for this year?
Well, our expectations have been the same, and in fact, our seasons were the same really the previous 4 or 5 years in terms of quality of practice and the family camaraderie off the court and the work ethic. So I don't think it changes our expectations at all. We want our kids to be great teammates, first and foremost, to have a great work ethic and a great attitude. And if we do those 3 things and we stay true to those and we fix them and repair them and build on them and think about them constantly, then no matter what our win-loss record is, we're going to be successful if we just take care of those things.
Last year you led the conference in a wide array of categories, and this year you're bringing back 3 all-conference winners. How big is that for this season going forward, having all that skill come back?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we have good people coming back first and foremost, and we just have to really concentrate on what we're doing off the court and being great teammates. And like I said, the talent really, obviously talent is important, but it plays a smaller part in our success than just being really good teammates. And because when you really care about each other, you really believe in one another, you really trust in one another, it's easy to go to battle every day in practice. And if you go to battle every day in practice, then then you're going to be successful come competition time.
So when the team hits the floor this year, who should we be looking for out there, both obviously talent-wise and some of those kids that really do the little things that don't really get noticed?
Well, we'll have 16 people to look for, okay? So I'm not going to give any names because they're all really, really important to our program. So we've got 16 ladies that we're looking to all make positive contributions on and off the floor.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck and thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to Coach Brase for joining us. Now we're on to the Grinnell College Pioneers. Grinnell last season finished 9-9 in league play, which was good for 7th in the league, and it was 11-12 overall under new head coach Dana Harrold. Grinnell hasn't made the MWC tournament since the 1992-93 season and last won it in the 90-91 season. The Pioneers finished 2nd in the league in field goal percentage defense, holding opponents to 35% shooting, while finishing 1st in block shots per game, blocking 6 shots. They lost 2 of their top 3 scorers due to graduation, but returned Alicia Hurst, who averaged 11.2 points per game and led the league in assist-to-turnover ratio. They will have to deal with the loss of Michelle Briggs, who led the league in rebounding and block shots, but will rely on Krista Coleman, as she shot 35% from behind the arc, which was 7th in the league. Now we will send it over to Grinnell and talk to head coach Dana Harrold. Dana, thanks for coming on. Last year, Grinnell 11-12 overall, 9-9 in the league. You're coming from Dubuque. This is your first year in Grinnell. What are your initial thoughts about being a Pioneer?
Well, excited is probably the best word to describe it. I've been at the University of Dubuque the past 9 seasons, and it was a great experience for me, but coming here and being a Pioneer gives me a chance to run my own program, and I'm super excited about the school in general, and getting to be a part of the Midwest Conference is an honor.
So, obviously this is your first year. It's going to be a whirlwind. A lot of things are going to be new. What are you specifically looking forward to in terms of the basketball season?
Some things I'm really looking forward to is just how hard I want my kids to play. I think, we lost some significant players and stuff from last year's team, but I don't look at that as a handicap. I think I'm very excited about my incoming class and the returners that I have this year. So we're just excited to get out there and work really hard.
So you talked about in a broad perspective your players, but who are some of the kids we're going to be looking forward to on the court this year?
Yeah, I have 3 returners that saw significant time last year. 3 of them played in every single game last year, and that's my one senior, Abby Yeager, Alicia Hurst will be a sophomore, and then Annie Bolt. Those 3 combined played in every game and started a good chunk of them. So I'll be getting them, leading everyone with their experience coming back and stuff, and then I've got a couple other players. Alex Plemons kind of played behind the post players. She'll be key for us in the post. And then Crystal Coleman saw some significant time on the perimeter and is a good 3-point shooter coming back.
All right, Dana. Well, thank you for coming on here, and good luck this upcoming season.
Thank you very much.
Once again, thanks to Coach Harrold for joining us. Now we're on to another team with another new head coach in Illinois College, as the Lady Blues are going to be headed by Laura Westling in her first season. Last season, the Lady Blues went 5-13 in league play, which was good for 9th in the Midwest Conference, as they were 7-16 overall. They will return 4 starters from last year's team and 74% of their scoring this season. They lost 1 senior due to graduation and entered this year with 13 players that were either freshmen or sophomores last season. They finished 2nd in the Midwest Conference in rebounding margin on the season and 3rd in block shots per game, as they blocked nearly 4 shots per contest. Brittany Burgess will be relied on to lead the team, as she averaged just under 12 points per game, and Hannah McGinnis will also look to add to the offensive load, as she averaged just over 11 points per game in double figures. McGinnis finished 3rd in the league in rebounding with just over 9 rebounds per game, while King finished 8th in rebounding at 7.3 rebounds per contest, as she also blocked 1.3 shots per game. Let's send it over to Illinois College and talk to head coach Laura Westling. Laura, first of all, thanks for coming on. First year here at Illinois College. When you got here and you accepted the position, what were your first thoughts of the college and the team?
One of the biggest reasons that I took the position, first of all, this college just has so many opportunities for young people, whether it's academically, athletically, how they really are here to serve the students and serve their futures was something that really attracted me. The facilities are phenomenal. The staff has been nothing but supportive and friendly. It's just a great environment, so it's definitely something I wanted to be a part of.
So coming back this season, you returned nearly the full team from last year. You lost 2 players to graduation and bring back 4 seniors. How big is that for you as a first-year coach to kind of have that veteran leadership behind you?
It's definitely a huge advantage for me as a new coach coming in. You have a group that's been here and knows the schedule, knows their team, and especially not just that they're juniors, seniors, but that they're respected juniors and seniors. It really helps me, first of all, I can develop a relationship with them, and that filters down to our new kids, but just really looking forward to continuing to build a relationship with them, build that trust, and come October, hopefully put it into practice on the floor.
Talking about the team specifically, you bring back 3 players that averaged double-figure points last year, led by Tiffany King. When people come and watch Illinois College women's basketball, who are they going to be looking for, and what are they going to expect from this team?
Well, that's a question I don't even know if we know yet. Obviously, not having a chance to evaluate them except for film last year. We'll bring a brand new system. We'll go back to a lot of fundamentals at the beginning, and then kind of adjust a system that myself and my assistant coach Moody are bringing in to really play to everyone's strengths. So we have phenomenal returners with Hannah McGinnis and Holly Wellman and Jill Friedrich, and I mean I could go on, and I don't want to leave anybody out. So we'll just kind of go with the understanding that it'll be exciting, it'll be fast-paced, hopefully, and we're gonna really just go and try and utilize all of our players' strengths.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for coming on, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
Thanks to Coach Wessling for coming on and joining us. Now we're on to the Knox Prairie Fire, coached by Emily Klein. The Prairie Fire were 9-14 overall last year, 7-11 in the league, which was good for an 8th place finish. With the run and gun system implemented last season by Coach Klein, the Prairie Fire led the league in scoring, steals, and turnover margin, scoring 78.9 points per game. Knox returns its top 2 scorers and 3 starters from last year's team, headlined by Jody Marver, who finished 2nd in the league in scoring, averaging 16.2 points per game. Jessica Howard is also going to be back to shoulder some of the offensive load, as she averages 10.2 points per game. No player averaged more than 20 minutes of playing time for the Prairie Fire last season because of the new run and gun system, and that lent itself to Marver having the 3rd most 3-point field goals made in the league with 51. Now let's send it over to Knox and talk to head coach Emily Klein.
Emily, first of all, thanks very much for coming on and joining us. Last year, Knox, a 9-14 overall record, 7-11 in the league. And the team, again, ran the system as we've come to know it, focusing on getting up and down the floor, a lot of shots, a lot of threes. How did the team in that second year adjust to the system?
Well, we were quite a bit more comfortable in the second year in the system. There were a lot of things we could do more things because we knew how to play system. We could think less and just play more, so that was definitely a positive. So I would say we were better record-wise and just better on the court at system, more comfortable.
In terms of, you've got some returning scorers and starters coming back, in terms of the system and teaching newcomers. Obviously, you've got some players who've been in the system for a couple years and the newcomers. Do you rely on some of your veterans, so to speak, to kind of help teach it, as well?
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the things of the system, one of the where your upperclassmen can help the younger kids, not only by setting the tone, but by verbally telling them in practice, demonstrating those things. I do really look upon the older kids, the kids that have been here, to help the younger kids with the transition from conventional basketball to system basketball.
Individually, great to have Jody Marver coming back. She averaged over 16 a game last year. Another double-figure scorer in Jess Howard, better than 10 a game, along with those 2. Who are some of the others for maybe some extra scoring punch and rebounding that you'll look at?
Well, I think Chantel Heckman had a great year last year as well. She didn't score huge numbers, but she did everything for us. She had a great year, so we'll rely upon her even more this year. Becky Duffy, Katie White, just that senior and junior group of kids are going to be really a lot of our core kids, along with some newcomers. but definitely Chantel, Grace, an increased presence from Grace, increased scoring, rebounding from Grace will be huge as well. So, there's a lot of kids in that mix, but, along with Jody and Jess and Becky and all those, so.
Newcomers, a quick question about newcomers in general, the newcoming class. I'm guessing there's a few shooters in there.
Yeah, there's a few shooters in there. Some shooters, some inside play, some drivers. We got a little bit of everything in the class. So I think that they'll be a good addition to our team.
Thanks to Coach Klein for coming on and joining us this year. Now we're on to the Lake Forest College Foresters, coached by Tam Tills. Last season, the Foresters finished 12-11 overall, 10-8 in league play, which was good for 5th in the Midwest Conference. The Foresters will be looking for a trip to the MWC tournament for the first time since the 2006-2007 season. Last season, they finished 4th in the league in scoring, averaging 66.8 points per game. They finished 3rd in field goal percentage and 2nd in assists per game. They returned only 2 starters and lost 2 of their top 3 scorers from a year ago, but bring back 12 players for a deep roster that has experience. Michelle Rococo is back after averaging 8.3 points per game and shooting 46% from the field as a freshman. Gina Ambrose averaged 7 points, and Sam Caddy averaged 5.3 points and 3.8 rebounds per game to headline the returners for Lake Forest. Now let's send it over to Lake Forest and talk to head coach Tam Tills. Tamlin, first of all, thanks for coming on. Last year, 12-11 overall, 10-8 in the league. Last season, offensively, you guys performed pretty well, 4th in the league in scoring, 3rd in field goal percentage. So coming into this season, is that what we kind of expect to see from the team as a whole?
Well, I think Liz Radke was a big part of that, so we'll need someone to fill her shoes. Clearly, we always want to score, but I think we're going to try to share the scoring a little bit more this year, and obviously want to score more than our opponents any way we can do it.
So coming into this season, you return only 2 starters, but you bring back 12 players total. So is that a little experience and a little youth coming into the season?
Absolutely. I really think that when freshmen become sophomores, it's a huge advantage for folks. And I look a lot, even though our freshmen were very successful last year, them being sophomores will bring a lot to the table. Combine that with the juniors and our one only senior, I feel like that experience should catapult us a little bit quicker.
So just missing out on the MWC tournament last year, is that really the main goal going into the season to get back?
Absolutely. And it's losing that one game here and there that will come back to haunt you. And we obviously want to win the conference championship and go to the NCAAs, and it's one game at a time, and that's their focus, and of course my focus.
So coming into this season, looking at the team a little more individually, you bring back Michelle Rococo, who averaged about 8.5 points, shot 46% from the field. Gina Ambrose, 7 points a game coming back. Along with those two, what else are we going to look for from the Lake Forest team?
Well, we're very fortunate to have those two come back, obviously in the roles that they played and hopefully get better. But also Sam Schuring, most coaches know that she will be coming back as a graduate student. We missed her extensively last year, and hopefully she will become the glue that can get us to the next level. And we look for a lot from her, and hopefully combining that with our younger kids, you never know what's going to happen.
All right, Tam, well, thanks for coming on, and good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to Coach Tills for joining us this season and talking about her program. Now we're on to the Lawrence Vikings, who also have a new coach this season in Ashley Wellman. She came from Alma in 2008 and is taking over a Vikings team that finished 2-21 overall last season, which included a 1-17 mark in league play. The Vikings returned 90% of the minutes played from a year ago and returned their top 3 scorers to help boost that 2-21 record from a year ago. Amber Lizaway will lead the charge for the offense for the Vikings after averaging 13.9 points per game, which included 16 blocks, 40 steals, as she averaged 5.6 rebounds per game. Alex Deschler averaged 10.5 points per game and also led the team in rebounding at 6.6 rebounds per game. Rounding out a strong trio of offensive players, Patsy Keeley averaged 7 points per game to give the Vikings a well-rounded offensive mix. The Vikings as a team finished 5th in rebounding margin and also finished 4th in 3-point field goals made per game at 4.4 to help mold this team for the 2013-14 season. So let's take it over to Lawrence and talk to head coach Ashley Wellman. Thanks for coming on, Ashley. An assistant at Alma last season. This is your first year at Lawrence. What are your thoughts on coming into a team 2-21 last year? Only one league win, but it has to be a pretty exciting experience to come in to the program.
Yeah, it is. It's a very exciting experience. I'm super excited to be here. The team has been nothing but eager and ready to go since the moment I stepped on campus. So they are ready, which makes me very excited to look forward to coaching this group of girls next season. They are getting in the gym a lot more, they're working out a lot more, so they're ready to go, and they're taking a lot of accountability for themselves, which is good.
And you said before 90% of the minutes played last year is returning this year, so it's a very experienced team. Amber Lizaway led the team in scoring with them, has 14 points, 6 rebounds per game. So what are you looking for from the team and players this year to really lead the way?
We definitely have a lot of rebuilding to do. However, I'm very excited about the experience that's returning because all the players, like you said, 9% of our minutes are coming back. We lost one senior last year who led the team in a way that can't be replaced. However, we're really going to have to focus on those 2 seniors that we have to lead us again. And a lot of the underclassmen who got that experience and a lot of that playing time last year, they're going to have to step up and play in a little bit different roles this year in order for us to be successful.
Now, obviously, you're in your first year. How much are you going to rely on this veteran team to kind of help you through the way throughout the season?
Well, we're both going to have to count on each other quite a bit. We're definitely going to have to mix some things up. We got a small roster, so they got to be ready. They got to be on their toes every day to change things up, and I'm looking forward to working with them. I think it's going to be a good year.
All right, Coach. Well, congratulations on the new job, and good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
And another thanks to Coach Wellman for joining us. Now we're on to the Monmouth College Fighting Scots under head coach Melissa Bittner. The Fighting Scots earned a school record 20 overall wins last season and finished the season with a 14-4 conference mark, which was good for an MWC tournament berth. The Fighting Scots were the league runner-up in each of the last 3 regular seasons and last won a spot in the NCAA tournament in the 2011-12 season. They finished 2nd in the league in scoring, averaging 74.2 points per game, and were outscoring opponents by 12.1 points per game in the 2012-2013 season. They led the league in 3-point field goal percentage at 36% and was 2nd in overall field goal percentage, hitting 44% of their shots. Marla Willard finished 7th in the league in scoring with 13.4 points per game and 2nd in rebounding at 9.8 rebounds per game. Willard is 209 points away from becoming a 1,000-point scorer in her Fighting Scots career. Paige Nord will complement Willard after finishing 3rd on the team in scoring last season with 10.6 points per game. Let's take it down to Monmouth and talk to Coach Bittner about this year's Fighting Scots team. Melissa, thanks for coming on. Obviously, you guys have been pretty outstanding over the past 3 seasons. Last year, you set a new Monmouth record with 20 overall wins. Over the past 5 years, how has the dynamic of the team and the expectations year to year changed with Monmouth?
Well, I think each year we try to set the bar a little bit higher. We've got an outstanding group of seniors right now. We've got 7 seniors in the program. And to brag on this group, this group of seniors has never not played in a conference championship. So they've got very high expectations for their last go-around. They want to end in a big bang.
So last season, one of the top teams in the conference scoring offensively in scoring margin, great field goal percentage. Is that what we're looking forward to seeing with Monmouth on the court this year?
Yeah, the last 2 seasons in a row, we've been the top 15 in the nation for scoring and for field goal percentage. So you're going to see a lot of what we've traditionally done. You're going to see run and gun offense. You're going to see pressure defense in your face, trapping, lots of forcing our opponents to 30-plus turnovers if we can. So the same things that we've done to build our program is really our foundation, our base, and we're going to continue to keep building off that.
Now, talking about a little bit more about the team, Marla Willard comes back, obviously a big performer last year, averaged over 13 points and almost 10 rebounds a game, and Paige Nord comes back after averaging almost 11 points a game. Along with those 2 players, what's the makeup of the team this year?
We've got a lot of upperclassmen. We've got 12 juniors and seniors, so we have a lot of experience with this group. We have a lot of returning players, we've got a lot of returning starters, so we've got a lot of experience that we're going to rely on, a lot of great leadership. But with that being said, this is a really strong incoming class. We've got a lot of really good freshmen, a lot of really good transfers that we think will help us go really deep, which will allow us to apply even more pressure with our aggressive defense, and also just fill some of the gaps that we have from graduation. So very excited. We've got very high aspirations for the upcoming season. Can't wait till October 15th.
All right, thanks for coming on and good luck this season.
Thank you.
Thanks to Coach Bittner for taking the time to talk about her team with us. Now we're on to the Ripon College Redhawks, who are under the tutelage of Lauren Johnson for her first season. Last season, the Redhawks were 10-13 overall and 9-9 in league play, which was good for 6th in the conference. Ripon is looking to make the MWC tournament for the first time since the 2009-2010 season. Last year, the Redhawks finished 3rd in the league in scoring defense, allowing opponents to score under 55 points per game, while also finishing 3rd in the league in rebounding margin. The Redhawks returned 3 starters this year, led by All-MWC second-team winner Jill Van Eperen. Van Eperen scored 12.7 points per game and averaged 5.4 rebounds per game, and ranked 3rd in the league in field goal percentage, hitting 55% of her shots, while dishing out 3.7 assists per game. Casey Cullen will also be an offensive contributor this year after averaging 7.3 points per game and 3.9 rebounds per game, while returning as the top 3-point shooter with 23 3-point field goals made last season. Let's take it down to Ripon and talk to head coach Lauren Johnson. Lauren, first of all, thanks for coming on. Last year, 10-13 overall, 9-9 in the league. This is your first season coming in for Julie Johnson after she left. What were your first impressions of Ripon, and what's the excitement level like in the basketball program?
I think Ripon's always had a strong tradition, women's basketball-wise, and so it's exciting to be here, to be a part of that, and to continue to develop that tradition. And so that's what we're going to get going on October 15th.
So last season, the Redhawks finished 3rd in the league in scoring defense, only 55 points per game given up, and strong rebounding team, 3rd in the league in rebounding margin. Is that kind of what you're going to stick with and what we probably will see from the team this year, or is there other things in the works?
I think we have to. Coach Johnson set a great tone in the previous seasons, just defensively, and that's going to be a strong point. It has to be a strong point of our team, giving up 55 points a game. And we also offensively need to develop, scoring only 54 last year. So getting good shots, taking care of the ball, being tougher, being more competitive, all those things will be characteristics of our practice every day, and what we talk about in the locker room and what we talk about in our team meetings.
Now, more specifically, you returned 3 starters this year, a second-team All-MWC player in Jill Van Eperen. She averaged almost 13 points a game, also bringing back Casey Cullen, about 7.5 points, 4 rebounds per game. Along with those two, what are we going to expect to see out of this Ripon program?
Jill and Casey definitely are a big part of that. We return a senior class of 5, which is a great number for us. Awesome for any team. Those 5 seniors consist of Casey and Jill, and then Sia Gagno from Berlin will be another big player for us, a big guard. Also Chelsea Sorbo, another senior guard, and then Heather Beck finishes out our senior class as a post player. And so just that experience I'm looking forward to working with. I'm looking forward to having back definitely within this transition. And underclassmen-wise, we need to follow. We need to follow those 5 seniors and how they set the tone every day.
All right, well, thanks for coming on, Lauren, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank Coach Johnson for joining us this season. And now we will finish out the preview with the St. Norbert Green Knights, who is under the tutelage of Connie Tilley, who is in her 37th season at St. Norbert. Last season, the Green Knights finished 3rd in the league with a 12-6 conference mark and a 15-9 overall mark. The Green Knights returned 3 starters, and St. Norbert has made the MWC tournament in each of the last 11 seasons and won an MWC championship 7 times during that time span. Last season, St. Norbert led the league in scoring defense, allowing opponents to score only 51 points per game, and they were also 3rd in the league in scoring margin at nearly +6 points per game. They also blocked 3.7 shots per game, which was good for 2nd in the league. Tasha Geis is the top returner after averaging 9.2 points per game and led the team in rebounding at 6.9 rebounds per game. She was 9th in the league in rebounding while ranking 5th in the league in field goal percentage, shooting 52%, and was tied for 3rd in block shots per game at 1.3. Now let's take it up to St. Norbert and talk to head coach Connie Tilley. Connie, thanks for coming on, and we appreciate it. Last year, obviously a good season. You finished 3rd in the league, 15 wins overall, 12 in the conference. A good year for the school, despite not being able to win in the tournament.
Well, I think we were rebuilding, and we knew that going into the season. So I don't know if it surpassed my expectations, but certainly it gave us a good base for the coming years. And I think when you're in a rebuilding situation, you really don't know what to expect. And I think that, from our standards, I don't think it was a great season, but yet I think it was a good building block for us for the future.
Now, coming into this year, you returned 3 starters, and you have some good depth coming back. So, what are your expectations for the year going into the season?
We're gonna, I think we struggled a little bit offensively, and I think one of the things that is going to be a key to our success is absolutely trying to, score more points and those kinds of things. So we're not really changing a lot. We are hopefully going to just keep on working on getting better. We lost some, key players last year, and I just think that the younger players have to take a big step for us to be real successful.
Tasha Geis comes back as your returning scorer, but when people come and watch St. Norbert, either on webcasting or at the games, what are they going to be looking for in this year's team?
Well, I think Tasha's going to be a real huge key for us. She got hurt at the end of the year last year, and even though she was able to play, was probably at about 60%. So she's going to be a key. I think the freshmen that we have coming in are going to play a key role this year. I just think it's just a matter of us gaining some confidence and really taking off from where we left last year and just being more consistent.
All right, Connie. Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks to Coach Tilley for coming on and joining us today. Well, that's it for the 2013-2014 Women's Basketball Preseason Preview. We hoped you enjoyed the new format this year and a chance to hear from all the coaches around the league. We would like to thank the coaches for taking time out of their busy schedules to sit down with us, and like to thank each of the sports information departments for making this interview possible. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we hoped you enjoyed it. Make sure to tune in to the Midwest Conference website for another exciting season of Midwest Conference women's basketball. Good luck to all the coaches and all the teams this season. Thank you.